In a previous episode of IT Weekly, we talked about the importance of providing your students with feedback. And one great way to provide that feedback is by using a rubric.
And Google Forms provides a great way to automate sending that feedback back to our students. So we're going to show you how to set that up on this week's episode of IT Weekly. Rubrics are a valuable way to give students feedback. It lets the students know what the expectations are up front, and once they completed their work, it lets them know what areas they did well in and what areas they fell short in. And automating that process can make it easier for both the teacher and the student.
You're right. And the way that you're going to automate is by using a Google add-on called AutoCrat. And to get started to use AutoCrat, the first step you're going to do is to create a Google form that you're going to use to gather all this data.
Before getting started creating your Google form, what you'll want to do is have some sort of rubric to guide you in creating it. And here's the example that I'm going to use when I create my Google form. So in creating your Google form, you'll want to make sure that you include the student name and their ID number. You're going to use the ID number when sharing and emailing the document to the student. As you can see here, I've organized my Google form by the categories: organization, content, and presentation. And then in each one I have a handful of questions, and I've used the linear scale question type so I can provide the students feedback that way. When you're done with your Google form, the next step is to go ahead and create your Google Sheet that will house all of the data that you enter into the form. The way that you can do that is by selecting responses at the top, and then select the green Google Sheet icon on the right-hand side. This will create the Google Sheet where all of your responses will be housed.
One thing you might want to do in order to save yourself some time is to enter your students into a drop-down menu so that when you're grading their presentations, you don't have to type in their name individually.
Now that you have the form and the sheet created, the very next step is to build your document template. This is where all your data from your form is going to be merged to and then dispersed to your students.
Next we have our document template. This is what we're going to use to insert the information from our Google Sheet, and then we're going to take this template and merge the information and then email and share that document with our students. So in order to get started, you can lay this template however you want. I've decided to use a table format. So in order to get started, what you'll want to do is you'll want to reference a certain area on your template with a column inside of your Google Sheet. So for instance, I have the student name area right here, so what I want to appear right where my cursor is that student's name. So all I need to do is type in bracket, bracket, and I'm going to go to my Google Sheet, and I'm going to copy the student name column. I'm going to go back to my template, I'm going to paste that, and then I'm going to close the brackets with a bracket, bracket here. So I have bracket, bracket, student name, bracket, bracket. And what that does is that basically references that column in my Google Sheet. So we'll do that again for the student ID area. So I want the student's ID to appear right here. So I'm going to type in bracket, bracket. I'm going to go over to my Google Sheet. I'm going to copy that student ID number column heading. I'm going to copy that, go back to my template, and then paste that in and follow it up with a bracket, bracket. So as you can see here, this reference is bolded and this reference is not. Keep in mind, you can change the color of it, you can change the text size, as well as change the color. So you can see I've already done the criteria, the score that the students had on the rubric, and I've decided to make that font a little bit bigger, as well as bold it and turn it to the color red.
When you're building your document template, feel free to add any images, text coloring, any kind of flair that you want to build some personalization to your document template.
Right, and the final step in this entire process is to set up AutoCrat.
In order to run AutoCrat, you'll need to open up your Responses Google Sheet. Once you have it open, select Add-ons and then select AutoCrat and Open. Once it opens, select New Job. Then type in a name for the job. After typing in the name, select Next. You'll now need to choose the template that you made from your Google Doc. Once you select your template, select Next. Next, you'll need to map the source data to the template by making sure that each of your references match up with the column in your Google Sheet. When you're done, select Next. Now you'll need to go ahead and give each document that's going to be created a name. You can also select whether or not a Google Doc or a PDF is created. You will now need to choose your destination folder where all of your presentation feedback merged documents will go. If you have not created a folder for these merged documents, we recommend doing that, and then all you need to do is select Choose Folder, and then you'll be able to select the folder where all of your merged documents will be located. Then select Next. You can go ahead and skip the Add Dynamic Folder reference as well as Set Merge Condition. Once you're at step number 8, you're going to change the settings for the document that you're going to share as well as the email that you're going to send. When you're done adjusting the settings, select Next. You'll then need to select the Run on Form trigger, and then you'll need to enable the trigger. Once the trigger has been updated, select Save. You have now set up AutoCrat, and when you input information into your Google form, a brand new document will be stored into a folder as well as shared and emailed with your students.
There's lots of great options in terms of how you can implement AutoCrat into your school. But using it for feedback is a great way to simplify the process of delivering feedback to our students.
That's going to do it for this week's episode. Thank you for tuning in. Check us out next week for another edition of IT Week.